Hi, it's Alyssa Sequoia here. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. I've named this the Let It Flow Show. I'll be sharing stories, experiences, thoughts, and ideas, and just whatever flows through in the moment. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And now it's time for the Let It Flow Show. Today is Christmas, and yesterday something pretty amazing happened. My husband and I, each in separate rooms in the house, and he was doing yoga, and I was doing my floor work. I've created a bunch of exercises for myself to improve my posture. Even though I have a fused spine, as I've mentioned, I am convinced and fully believe I can straighten my spine out through exercise. I mean, I dream sometimes of like contraptions, like a way to, like if there was something I could get together with an inventor, builder of devices or contraptions for the body. I would love to work with somebody like that to invent something that you could wear that pulls back the shoulders and pushes the upper part of the spine forward. How many people would benefit that have these hunched postures, especially even young people now looking down at devices? How cool would this contraption be? That would be some sort of flexible, wearable, meshy material that didn't stretch out and would just maintain that pulling back of the shoulders and pushing forward of the upper spine to keep the skeleton into an upright position. I dream about this. I dream about it. So in the meantime, I've created a bunch of exercises for myself that I do. I try to do them every day. They're very challenging. I teach my husband them, some things that I've created, and my husband's a yoga teacher. So he brings these exercises to his students in his yoga classes. So people are benefiting from these exercises that I've invented all over this area. He's a very popular yoga teacher. So that's kind of interesting, right? So is the woman. So is the woman behind the man, right? The driving force, the batteries. That's us. But yeah, the yoga. He brings the yoga, and he's a great teacher. And I was just thinking yoga. Yoga is life. Life is yoga. So for any of you who have practiced yoga, who don't practice yoga, the idea of holding yourself in a position that challenges your body while breathing is just a way to look at life. And once you've fully engaged that position and fully breathed and switched positions, it feels great that you've breathed through all the discomfort that came with holding that, right? So life is yoga. We breathe through uncomfortable positions we're in, maybe even generated from within mentally. We breathe through it all that we go through in our life, always connecting back to the breath, and believing and knowing we can hold the position. We can hold our position. And we strengthen ourselves over time when we continue this. Back to the very beginning of when I started speaking here, that something amazing happened yesterday. I hear my husband say, "Oh my God, look at that bird." And out of the room he practices in is a big window. And that window faces a tree, a holly tree. And it's a big, gorgeous tree with spiky evergreen leaves and red berries. And the birds love it. All kinds of birds come and hang in that tree and eat those berries. But yesterday, there was just this massive amount of robins in that tree eating berries. And he goes, "Oh my God, look at that bird." So I run into the room, and within the group of robins, there is one completely snow white bird. Looks like a robin, but it's an albino. So I'm thinking it was an albino robin because in my entire life of living here, and I've lived here in this area for my majority of my life, I have never seen that bird. I have never seen an all white bird. And it was clearly part of that group of robins. In that moment that he called me to see that bird, I was having a vision, and I booked myself to do a show in a small venue here in New York in March. And I was having a vision of myself performing and asking people, let me see a show of hands of people who are amazed that they are still here experiencing life, that they have just survived whatever they've survived in their life. And it's a miracle that they're still here. Let me see a show of hands, right? But everyone should raise their hands anyway, because every day is a miracle that we're all still here. And then I just start thinking about, all I've been through, all this body of mine, the flesh and muscle and blood and my beating heart, that it's still here attached to my skeleton after all it's been through, after all the death and near-death experiences and, God, drug addiction, homelessness, hospitalization. And I think about the people that I've lost in my life to suicide. I think about the pets that I've had that have crossed over. I think about the amount of spirits around me. And I just give thanks. I just give thanks for the opportunity to still be here. And I guess the message was thank you, Spirit. And Spirit saying, share. Share. It was me acknowledging I'm still here. I'm looking at my life. I'm looking at the house that I live in. I have food in my stomach. I have the health that I have, which is pretty fucking amazing. Albeit an overactive immune system, but you know what? In this day and age, I'll fucking take it. Yeah, I have to calm it down every once in a while with prednisone or, antibiotics, but it's certainly done a great job kicking the shit out of COVID 3 fucking times. 3 times. I tell people the last time I had COVID, the third time, it was like, that was it. That was the third time I had COVID. That was all it was. Spirit's been saying to me, or my mind, or whatever you want to call it during meditation, your cup runneth over. Your cup runneth over. So share. Share yourself, share your stories, share your art, share your ideas, share yourself more, share what you've got. So I love baking lately for people. I've been making these hemp loaves, just straight up hemp hearts recipe that I made up myself. Some have, chocolate and cranberry. Some are cranberry and caraway. Some are dried fruit. And, I know a lot of people with immune issues. Even people who don't know they have immune issues. So I just saw my dental surgeon, who I absolutely love. I was going to have an implant put in, but the two of us decided to wait when I saw him. And he looked at me at one point and he goes, "You look really good." And he goes, "Look at me." And he was holding his face and he goes, "Look at me. I got to go on a diet." And yeah, he was, he's looking pretty overweight and bloated, and it's really making him unhappy. And he's like, I have to go on a diet. And when he said it, he was so belly up and he had this look in his eye like, "Please help me. I don't know what to do." And I had to take a breath because, I'm the patient and in one sense, but I can be a teacher in another. And I said to him, okay, first step, go paleo, let go of the flours, the grains, the beans, the sugar, the dairy, let go of that. And then we started talking about something else, and he made a reference to grains and how he did know that they were anti-nutrients and that they're not good for you. So he acknowledged that, and we started talking about something else. But when I left the office, I just could not stop thinking about him. And I have not been able to stop thinking about him and how I would truly love to be of service to him and talk about the struggles I've had with my eating disorders, from being a gorger, binger, to anorexic, to gorger, binger, to anorexic. When I was little, my mother taught me how to be anorexic. My mother, when I was little, 6, 7 years old, would take me in the kitchen and show me like cookies or food and say, "Here, this is what I want you to know. You can chew this food, but spit it out. Don't swallow. Never swallow. Always spit your food out." And over time, when she would teach me these things, I realized she didn't want me to eat. And I thought, getting my mother's love meant starving myself. So that was part of a lot. There's so many layers to eating disorders that people have, but that was for me a big one. It's still there. It's still there in my life. I've honestly, I'll be fully honest with all of you. I still do spit my food out a lot, but more so because my fucking teeth hurt. I can't chew hard shit anymore or anything like gristly or with a lot of texture. So, but it's there somewhere that happened. Anyway, I'd really love to be of service to him. So I'm just going to compose a letter. I think the best thing I could say is water. Breaking out of habits. Meditation, of course, comes into play because we don't want to act on every thought the mind has, right? And oftentimes, just connecting back to the breath and realizing your mind is reeling and saying things, having that consciousness of the mind doing what the mind does and connecting back to the breath. That's step 1. Step 2 is water, hydration. When you're feeling like super hungry or you're trying to break out of patterns and you want your stomach to feel full, water. Set a goal every morning. How much water are you going to drink a day, right? And stick to that goal best you can, 8 to 10 glasses. Can you get it done? It's a focus. It's your focal point. It's your priority for your day. Step 2, are you hurting? Is this something that maybe you need to speak to somebody for a time in your life? Or go into art therapy or talk therapy and figure out what's going on that you're binging so much, right? And how can we redirect this energy and heal wounds that need to be healed? Because Lord knows there ain't enough food in the world to heal emotional wounds, right? Can't do it, man. Can't do it. There's other ways to do it. And sometimes, yes, it's art therapy. It's nonverbal. And sometimes it's talk therapy, or sometimes it's both. So, thinking about how grateful I am, thinking about that beautiful, beautiful, unique, 1 in a gabillion white birds that came to visit. Thinking about my uniqueness, my unique gifts and offerings, and how each and every one of you is unique and has your own unique gifts and offerings, and how we celebrate that. Celebrate that. Let's celebrate that. So I'm sending out a lot of love. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thanks for listening. Peace. So that's a wrap for the Let It Flow show. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Alyssa Sequoia, and until next time, take care. For more information about where to find me, go to Alyssa360.com. That's ALYSSA360.com. Much love and peace.